All right, sir, we're back. This is number 3. So what I did here, before we got going, I just cut him back just a little bit, reduced the size so that you can see how far, instead of the brow up above the eyes wasn't sticking out so far, I cut him back just a little bit so you can see about how far it is that he's sticking below the bridge of the nose. So the other thing that I did was I took a pencil, and off of where this line here on the back side, or on the top side of the eyes, I pulled that line down just a little bit. All right, and on the same thing over here on the other side, is pulled that down just a little bit as well. All right, now what that's going to do is give us some in the corners of the eyes a little bit of shadow there. So following that line down, and follow your pencil line down, is we're just going to, it's not a real deep cut, but we're going to take it down to the edge there. Then what I'm going to do is lay my knife down on its side and go into that corner there, and I'm just going to undercut that line that I just drew, and that's going to give us a little bit of shadow up underneath that eye. All right, so there's that where your eyelid comes up underneath there, and it shapes down the side. So I'll come back over here, and I'll just cut straight down. Just follow that line. Use your pencil so that when you're looking at it, before you start cutting, you can see that things are matched up on both sides. With this guy again, I'm going to start here, lay it down, and just undercut that, and just barely taking out a line there, just to kind of give it some shadow. All right, and you can see that. Next thing I want to do, so now you can kind of see there's bags there on the eyes there, coming up. So the other thing that I want to do is show a little bit of wrinkles, and I just kind of take my pencil and just draw just a light little pencil line there, and come up here and a light pencil line there. Okay, so those are kind of wrinkles. I'm going to go straight into that. Again, it's not a very deep cut. Straight in there, and just follow that the pencil line there. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to take the knife again, and I'm going to go where it's almost laid down. All right. Follow that curve there, and I'm just going to cut that little guy out and pop him out. So now it looks like there's a wrinkle there. I'll do the same thing over here on this side. Go straight in, and you can make him the same length, or you can adjust him out to a shorter length. You can make him straight across, or you add just a little bit of a curve to it. So I've cut him in. I'll start there at the end of it, laying the knife down so that it's got a good up underneath cut, and I'll go right there to the end of where I started that last one, and that guy will pop right out of there. Okay, so now I'm going to give it just a little bit more up underneath there, because I want just a little bit more. There he goes. There. So now there's a little bit of shadow there as well. You can come up here and just kind of offset it a little bit, and catch my line there. Go up underneath. There's another wrinkle, and he doesn't necessarily have to have them on both sides. I'll give him just a little bit, just a little short one right here, and it's going to curve just a little bit, so he's a little bitty short one, and I'll come up underneath there from the corner of that cut and just relieve that. So now there's some shadow there. Okay. Now the next thing that we're going to do is come up here, and we're going to do the mouth mound. So you can see that right now our mouth mound, he pretty much starts there and goes up to the tip of his nose. I want just a little bit more there. All right, so we're going to just cut him out. All right. He's not flat, because our mouth mound isn't flat. He's still going with the curve, of the face and a curve of the wood. So you can kind of see, if you look there at him, you can still see that he's kind of rounded. He's up underneath that nose, and he wraps all the way around there. Okay. So you can see these harsh lines, where you can see the shadow lines of these are. So I'm going to kind of straighten those out just a little bit. And that's just, again, having a really sharp knife, pal. All right. And he's there. Well, looks like I got something a little bit more when I pulled that piece of wood. Disregard that little line right there. I'll have to go back in there and fix that with a gouge. So with here, the eyes, if you look on this guy, are kind of, they look kind of sad, all right, because they're kind of droopy there on the corners, all right. So we can either go with a smile face to counter that, or we can kind of go with a kind of a mediocre look on him. So let's see. If we start over here on this side, give it a distance, give it a comparable distance here for the mouth, and again, there's your center line. So keep up your center line all the way through, and just a light line on that center line. Okay. So can you see that center line there? Yep. Okay, good. So we're going to start over here on this side there, and we're going to kind of come down here to the center. All right. And that gives us a stopping point instead of trying to make him all the way across. Then we can kind of come over here on this side, come away from that the frown line there, and we'll just connect that smile, or connect that line. So instead of having to draw all the way across, you can just go to the center line on one side and the center line in another, and you can decide it off of there. Okay. Then what we're going to do is give him the corners of his mouth. Okay. Keep this line parallel with this line. Okay, so he's there. This line over here, we're going to keep parallel with the other side. Okay. So now there's the line. So what we're going to do is going to start here in this corner. All right. Drop that knife down into there. Okay. You can see that he's in there. It's giving us a little bit of depth. All right. And what I like to do is come through that line right to the center point and stop. Okay. Then what I do is come over here. That way you're not, as you're cutting it across here and you're in a curve, if you happen to come out a little bit, you don't go all the way across there, get the tip of your finger, mark up the side of your wood, that sort of thing. We turn him back up the other side and go into that corner right there. All right, drop that knife point in there. Okay, he's in there. And then bring him along that smile line there. Okay. So now that line is cut. Then I'm going to start up here with this tip right there. And we'll drop him down there. Okay. And then I'll go up here. And I'll stop there. And I'll drop it down to where that where the corner of that smile goes into. We'll do it again over here. And he's down there. You can feel it pop. And then we'll go over here to this side. And again, those pencil lines there are just reference lines. That's all they are, just so that you got some idea. And there you go. There's the smile that he's been cut in. Now we just have to refine it so that we get some expression off of him. So with the knife, I'm really choking up here on my knife. I'm going to use a different knife right here just because I know that he's sharper. I'm going to come up here and just gonna carve on top of that line, just on top of that line, down to the line that we began with, or that we just cut in there. And you can see he's starting to come, you know, that expression is starting to come alive there. All right, on this one, we're going to undercut him just a little bit. All right, go in and just bring him along there And there's that smile. Okay. These corner lines that we're looking at here, all we're going to do there is it's going to be, all right, we've already gone in, and we've already gone in there, and we've started with our corner cuts, is start there, about there, and just at that 45-degree angle, we're going to cut that little chip out of there. All right, we're going to do the same thing at the top. And he just pops right out of there. Clean him up just a little bit. There he goes. Do the same thing over here on this side. We'll get rid of that corner, and he pops out. We'll come up here to the top. We'll get rid of him as well. And there you go. There's your smile lines. Now, if you look at him, he's, you know, he looks like his bottom lip is a little bit up underneath, or sitting proud of his top lip. We're going to fix that here in just a second. So where did my, okay. So since we've got already the number 3 out, we need to put in the snot trough, which is that little guy that's, right, we stay on that line right up underneath the center of the nose there, but we're going to come just, you can see the layout of it. That's where you need those small gouges again. And he's in the center of it, so that little, called a snot trough. I got that from, that's not mine, but okay. And then he pops. Well, if he's not going to pop out of there, then just come in there with your knife, undercut it, and he will pop right out. There he goes. Okay. So now you've got that line up underneath your nose there. So to put your bottom lip up underneath the top lip, we just have to undercut that just a little bit more. All right, and that's just a matter of, again, make sure those knives are sharp, pal. Okay, right up to that line that we just that we cut to make the smile. Okay, now he's there. Now we need to give him a bottom lip. We need to give him a bottom lip. So I'm going to start with, again, with this number 3, just because I like the number 3. And I'm going to start right about here, but I'm going to come down. You can see the distance between the edge of the tool and where that cut line is for the smile or the lips there. And I'm going to just bring him around so that, all right, there's that one. I do the same thing over here on this side, right to the center. Don't try to make it all in one cut. Now then just start rounding that over. Now you can see that lip is starting to form. Okay, so we'll take our knife again and we'll get rid of some of that carving that we just did. And that number 3 again, he's going to ride just in that trough there that we created to make that lip. Going right up underneath there to show us that bottom lip. And we're just cleaning that up a little bit there. With that gouge, the corners, you can straighten that line out there. Getting a little brush there just to clean him up a little bit. We'll spray him some more. And you can see how he starts showing up now. And there it is. We can kind of clean up this top lip because he's down just a little bit, so we'll get rid of some of those real sharp lines there. Unless that's the kind of lip that you're looking for, it makes no difference. It's your carving, you make it go how you want.